a Easter Sunday, 12 o'clock kick-off local time. Real Madrid looking to put some pressure on Football Club Barcelona, and they'll be favourites to get a pretty comfortable one, we think, at home to a Granada side who are 18th in the table with just 23 points from 29 matches, and who, as you can see, have already felt the wrath of Real Madrid, suffering a 4-0 defeat in their home stadium, Los Cármenes, earlier in the campaign. Lovely day here in Madrid, as you can see, 13 degrees, just a light breeze, nice and sunny. Wouldn't be a bad day to go out on your bike, actually, but it's also one of those occasions that tends to see the Santiago Bernabéu packed to the rafters. Lots of people from Madrid out on holiday. Obviously, that means that the city is full of people who have come to Madrid for their holidays, and they're the ones who are packing the stands tonight for a rare occasion to see their heroes.
Rather, they faced Celta de Vigo in midweek, and then at the weekend they got another big game against Almeria, another side who were down there at the wrong end of the table.
And who, the good news for Malaga is that last night
James as well. Tony Cruz, part of the German World Cup winning squad, so it's been a long old season.
Looking for Benzema, this cross on the far post, Karim Benzema! Got a good contact on that, the Frenchman, but didn't have much of an angle. Lovely cross from James, and decent effort.
Thought there was a possible member of the future first team, but things didn't really turn out for Ruben Rochina the way he probably would have liked.
Oh my word, that is a little bit of what you would call a defensive mix-up, and Gareth Bale nearly taking advantage of it. Let's have a look at this one again. Just breaks the offside decision. Folquier, no, it's Juan Carlos who leaves it. And
before the final at the start of the season,
well, hopefully sooner or later. Unfortunately, it's going to be later rather than sooner. The stadium, the Peineta in Madrid, will be finished, which will be Atletico Madrid's new home. Should have 70,000 capacity. That should be perhaps. Hang on a second, as Cristiano fires into the side netting. Maybe that should just be the permanent venue.
Or simply, as in the Champions League, you simply name the venue at the start of the season, and should the club who play in that stadium reach the final, then so be it, as happened to Bayern Munich a few seasons back.
Met by Varane, the Frenchman wins the second challenge, and Marcelo gets it back to Iker Casillas. Poor distribution though from Iker. Come Granada again, is Ibanez. And that is not far away from Iker's right-hand post. Few whistles for the Real Madrid goalkeeper, who was perhaps, I thought, a bit unfairly singled out for criticism after the last defeat. Exactly, still very tight at the bottom of the table in Spain, but you get the feeling this season you're not going to need as many points as normal to stay up. For a variety of factors. Marcelo on the overlap, that's a great ball, and this should be, no! It isn't! It's Arbeloa who came in unmarked on the far post. Great overlap from Marcelo, nobody had picked up Arbeloa here. And he puts it wide.
Arbeloa just a little bit too casual, I think.
Pass statistics. Madrid obviously moving the ball around more than their rivals, and more effectively as well.
To expect that at home. Real Madrid against 99% of sides will have more of the ball here in the Bernabéu.
Cruz put Gareth Bale through. He's not got much of an angle. Bale, but scores, and that will do him a world of good. 20 in the Bernabéu, where he left off the scoring, and gets good support, just what he needs from Arbeloa.
Good finish from Gareth Bale, but I think if we see the replay, there's just a moment's hesitation there from goalkeeper Oyer. I think maybe had he committed himself fully, he could have got there before the Welshman, but he just seemed to hesitate, and that gave Bale the opportunity.
Doesn't seem to be anything in this, really. I think what he expects Mainz to make the challenge. Bale just that bit quicker than the defender, wants it a bit more. Mainz should have done better.
Well, that's used to hypocrisy when they go to.
It is one of the things, though.
Smaller grounds.
It's why it is home advantage, though, isn't it? Because, you know, if you have spent your money on your players, hang on a second, Cristiano takes a deflection over for a corner. If you spent money on your players, you want the playing surface to be as good for them at home as possible. So it's James, left-footed, cleared by Fran Rico. Punted back by Marcelo. No offside against Ramos, but a few confusing with other players in the penalty area there.
I think Cristiano Ronaldo would have been offside, but he let the ball run for Ramos.
That's a great ball. This should be the second. Well, it isn't yet. Still Cristiano. 2-0 to Real Madrid. And that just about confirms what we said. Lots of teams hang on to the first goal, and then it all tends to go a little bit floppy. 2-0 for Real Madrid. Cristiano Ronaldo scores his 32nd goal of the season.
We were saying before, Cristiano Ronaldo in a little bit of a slump. Only scored in 5 league games of 14 in 2015. Here, Benzema just taking a little bit too much time. James does really well, spots Cristiano just outside him.
It's a good cross. Look at the marking there, or the not marking. On James, nice little 1-2. Bante, Betis, Osasuna, some of these second division sides, but some of them also, like Betis, battling for promotion back, and unless these are sorted out quickly, it's just going to be very confusing and very messy. Marcelo. Oh yeah, half parries, and that is the third goal for Real Madrid, and it's Cristiano on hand to punish. Oh yeah, Realmente for parrying it again into exactly where you shouldn't be parrying it.
Ronaldo defensively paying the price. I think Real Madrid just upped the tempo in the last few minutes, winning the ball back with greater efficiency in midfield, and there a good overlap from Marcelo down the left-hand side. Good cross in, and oh yeah, pouring at the ball really. And Cristiano Ronaldo lurking, one of the best strikers of the ball in world football. On the volley.
If you look at the way he actually cedes the ball to Marcelo than they did when you were hanging in at 0-0.
And you know you've got the second 45 minutes to come after the break as well. I think we were talking about the managers rather mind being on the games coming up in midweek and next weekend. I think the players might be thinking about that as well.
4-0. That's Ronaldo's hat-trick.
Well, again, I think Granada now will just want that half-time whistle to come as quickly as possible. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Forget the half-time whistle, they want the full-time whistle to go as quickly as possible. Cristiano Ronaldo, given time, space, absolutely lashes that one into the back of the net. Well, 38 minutes for a hat-trick. He's actually scored his hat-trick in just 8 minutes. Let's have a look here.
Once again, one or two questions maybe about the goalkeeper, a little bit slow.
Well, nobody actually closes him down. He's allowed to
teams to
keep it tight.
Keep it tight at the back, as you say. Overall goal average only comes into effect if the two teams...
Whoa, El Arabi thunders that shot in from absolutely nowhere.
I'd like to see the replay. Got a feeling that may have crossed the line. I don't know. It was difficult to see.
I got the impression as well, but it does sometimes fool you. Oof. Don't know. I don't think it did.
I think it did. We can get another replay. I think that.
After the break, in fact, he hasn't there. 45 minutes gone. It was a bit of a slow start from Real Madrid. 25 minutes they needed before Gareth Bale took advantage of some pretty sloppy defending to take the ball past Oyer.
Well, Cristiano Ronaldo hat-trick stats, if you like. It was the 24th in the league for Real Madrid for Cristiano Ronaldo, equaling the record held by Leo Messi. And it was his 28th in all competitions for Real Madrid, equaling another record held by Alfredo Di Stefano.
Well, there you have it. Game time, regular game time does Chicharito. And it'll be interesting to see, looking at the bench, whether Real Madrid will obviously look to say, I'm pretty sure they'll look to rest Cruz if possible. You'd be wanting to see perhaps players such as Chicharito, Jesse get some time under his belt as Granada make a rare surge forward. They had that shot against the crossbar just before the break from El Arabi. There, just warming Ica's hands.
Kande is coming forward, making just his second start of the season since joining the club in January.
From Nuremberg, this is a bit of a trial for him. Ica spills that shot.
Ruben Brocina
did well, and there was no reason to drop him, but Ter Stegen was probably the player who signed to be first choice, therefore you had to fit him in somewhere. Cristiano looks to go for glory rather than pulling it back to his teammate. Ah, that's a good...
Rosino. referee's beginning to rue that decision. A bit late for that now anyway.
Modric over the bar. And the pity tends to slot into that left-sided attacking role.
Could be Rochina to make way as well.
It's a bit of a balloon, as they say, but Benzema's controlled it, and that is 5-0 to Real Madrid. Karim Benzema allowed to control a ballooned corner on his chest before scoring with a volley.
And really, we've seen the Granada defence and Real Madrid all the time in the world in the first half, and they've carried on in that vein in the second.
Let's have a look at this again. I mean, it's not actually a good corner. Look how that balloon's up. He's controlled it, and it's a lovely volley. The horse hasn't actually bolted. It's about 5 miles down the road at the moment for Granada.
The horse is long gone.
There's a trail of dust. And it's going to be 6. Indeed it is. Gareth Bale setting up Cristiano Ronaldo. So that's an Aman okay, I think, sort of rubbing of his knee. 6-0 to Real Madrid against Granada.
2 goals in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. And if Granada felt as though Real Madrid might take it easy on them after the break, then it certainly hasn't been the case. All worrying for Real Madrid will be the state of Cristiano Ronaldo's knee.
Possible offside there, I'm going to say, against Bale. No offside against Ronaldo, who catches himself there, doesn't he, against the post.
Not the first player to do so this afternoon. I think the less said about that the better, but Cristiano Ronaldo just cracked his knee on that post as he heads home his fourth behind them.
If Abel's team talk at half-time for Granada was, OK, lads, let's try and keep it tight in the first 10 minutes, then they haven't exactly taken any notice. All credit to Real Madrid. All you can do is beat your rivals as comfortably and as confidently as possible. 7-0. But Granada are absolutely woeful. Second goal for Karim Benzema.
Really turning into a turkey shoot now for Real Madrid. Granada, well, if they were hopeless in the first half, they've, if anything, been worse in this second half. Any remnants of defensive discipline has gone out the window.
The thing is, as I say, all you can do for time did look as if Madrid would get a bit further in the cup, and that would have given him the, once again, the going out of the cup's probably a bit of a hidden handicap for them in that question. Here's Cristiano. Is he going to try and go for his 5th? Well, he is, not far away. I'm going to bet against that happening today.
After that 7th goal as well, Granada did make a substitution. 8 matches, 6 in the league and 2 in the Champions League.
Yeah, there's 2 rounds of midweek fixtures, aren't there?
So Ancelotti has to bear in mind the fact that this time we're playing more games than usual.
He's played on there, the referee. It looked as for a moment as if Cristiano controlled that with his hands.
The referee might have thought he came back off his...
I think they would have, once again, it would have been the 8th of the game, but Gareth Bale. Oof. I think a lot of people thought that might have gone in for number 8. As it is just wide of the post.
Gareth Bale whipping in a free kick with his left foot. I'm not sure. Easily being the 5th there for Cristiano. And I think for Real Madrid. Gareth Bale setting up the opportunity with a good pullback from the left-hand side.
Once again, it's Cristiano who gives the pass. It's very similar to the 3rd goal. He gives it and then goes. Nobody then follows the run. Although he is, you have to travel to another country, etc., etc. You have to get on the number 27 bus. Arbeloa on the overlap. And Cristiano, once again, he is looking for that 5th goal, isn't he? Very much looking for that 5th goal.
And 2 opportunities in quick succession. Great ball over to the right-hand side.
A little bit of manhandling from Murillo. There on Chicharito. 17 minutes left in this game. 7-0 Real Madrid lead against Granada. Their highest number of goals they scored this year was actually in La Coruña when they put 8 past Depot. Chicharito scored a couple of screamers in that game, actually. And here's a chance for Granada. Well, they've scored.
Nobody, Ibanez.
Ibanez.
Clean through on goal. Took it well. Kept his cool. I think Arbeloa almost brought him down. I think
I don't think there's a real... You've got to be intelligent, haven't you? There's no point in picking up... Well, for Arbeloa, it would have been at least a booking, a red card for a professional foul when you're 7-0 ahead. So Ibanez not bothering to celebrate for very obvious reasons. Just beats the offside trap. Finishes well. Silvestre. A bit stronger in the challenge. Cristiano. Marcelo once again looking for Cristiano. Volley's over. 15 minutes left. 7-1 to Real Madrid now. That distance just cut back by Raúl Ibanez. There's another impenetrable fortress at the moment.
They have to go to the Calderon on the last day of the season as well, so...
Could this be number 8? Oh, yeah! Just palms it over.
Again, simple for Real Madrid. Granada offering up plenty of space at the back inside the penalty area. All teed up nicely for Gareth Bale and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Looks to place it rather than to go for power there. There he is, Ronaldo. Through the wall, but wide.
Did that come off the wall? No.
Did it go straight through the wall?
Ball seems to take a strange trajectory. Must have dragged it wide of the
Let's
wall.
have a look. Right, it goes straight through the...
One over there, he just simply jumped out the way of the ball.
That is...
A little bit lucky that...
That is... I know they got away with it, but that is just dreadful. Dreadful. Modric. Oh, yeah, that's what you want, own goal. 8-1.
Diego Mainz, the captain, the unlucky man.
Well, if it's going to go wrong, you might as well have it all go wrong when you're 7-1 down. 8-1 to Real Madrid. Diego Mainz putting past his own goalkeeper to round off what's been a pretty horrible afternoon. I think the Granada fans are almost finding it funny as well.
Ball down the line for Modric. Good cross in.
8-1. Second time this season Real Madrid have scored 8 goals in La Liga. So they did it away to Depor.
This is now heading for Granada's biggest defeat of the season. Unless they can... Another one here. They lost 6-0 at Camp Nou.
They were pretty grim in the Camp Nou. Marcelo losing out with... And it was almost good until the end, and there Ica makes a smart save from Silvestre. Yaramendi trying to close down the Granada midfielder, and in the end it goes out for a goal kick. Just over 2 minutes left. Real Madrid leading, your eyes are not deceiving you, by 8-1 against Granada. One by Gareth Bale and an own goal by Diego Mainz. Here's Bale. Goes down. That's going to be a booking. I suspect indeed it is. Murillo came on as a substitute, I think after the 7th goal, when Modric. Good delivery. Unmarked. Cristiano scores his 5th of the game. 9-1 to Real Madrid.
Well, I think that free kick sums up Granada's performance really here today in the Bernabeu. Just a simple free kick to the far post and some really shoddy, sloppy defending, allowing Cristiano Ronaldo a free header at the far post. He's missed a couple of chances in the second half, but I don't think he was going to miss that opportunity to score 5 in a game.
So which is why he stayed on. 36th goal of the season. 9-1. That's the heaviest defeat I've seen in La Liga in, once again, good move. Score 9 goals. Just 1 minute of injury time. Hilal being kind to Granada.
Remember Pep Guardiola's Barca side winning 8-0 at Almeria in the league. Beyond 8.
Well, we're not going to get 10, because Gil Manzano says that's enough, folks. 9-1 for Real Madrid, and the Madrid coach Ancelotti, Hierro, going over and basically consoling Abel Recino, the Granada coach. And